Begin by placing your feet underneath your hips, as you do when you stand in your Wu Chi. Bringing the palms up into the Buddha palm position in front of the chest. Go ahead and close your eyes and bring your attention inward as you take a couple of moments to watch the breath and feel the position of the Buddha palm. Open the arms in front, holding the ball in front of the chest. Remember, at any point, if you start to feel uncomfortable, you can make minor adjustments to your posture or do movements that are going to allow you to feel more at ease. After a few breaths, you want to open the arms wide, pressing the palms to the sides. You can do some minor movements here if you'd like, lengthening the ribs, feeling as though someone is pulling you on the wrist very gently from side to side, and then return to the center to hold the posture in stillness for a few breaths. Then drop the hands low, holding the ball in front of the dantian for a few more breaths. Letting the arms drop completes this exercise. For rocking, I want to start by placing one foot forward, the back foot goes to a 45-degree angle, and the knees are bent. We're going to just rock gently forward to the front foot, allowing the back heel to lift just a little bit, and then rock back toward the back by lifting the front toe up. This becomes a gliding motion, just like a glider kind of rocking chair, where we're moving forward and back, keeping the knees bent to the same degree all the way through, allowing the arms to hang loosely at your sides at the beginning. You might find that they start to rock along with you, really looking for that sensation of movement that the arms will begin to pick up through your rocking movement. Gradually, they'll start to float up, and you want to imagine a ball between the hands. As you rock forward, the ball comes up. When you rock back, it comes back towards your body, sinks down, and rocks forward again. We call this circling the ball. So we do this for a few breaths on one side, and then when you've had enough, you can move to the other side, stepping forward, putting the back foot at an angle, and again you want to continue just the rocking. At the beginning, the arms are loose and relaxed. As you set your rhythm on this new side, noticing what's different from one side to the other, and then allow the ball to come into play. Rocking forward and allowing the ball to come forward, and then rocking back as the ball sinks back towards you. Repeating this movement for a few breaths. And return to Wu Chi. For Joy's exercise, we want to have our feet closer together, so find the placement that feels comfortable and secure to you. The closer together, the better it is. You're going to start by softening the knees and bending forward, allowing the arms to hang. Stay here for a breath or two, keeping the knees unlocked. And then reach forward with the fingertips. Bring him all the way up so you're reaching for the sky. The face stays forward. We don't want to look up at this point. And then lift the heels. The arms will continue to extend upward. Lower the heels. Expand the arms to the side. And then return them to the middle. Continue by repeating this sequence up to 10 times. For this sequence, we want to start by placing the left hand behind the back to a comfortable position, and then place the right hand on the right shoulder. Soften the knees, allowing the pelvis to move as you breathe. You can do some gentle movements, lifting the elbow, lengthening the ribs and bringing it back down, just to make this more comfortable. And when you've done your movements, then you return to stillness. Turn and look to the left. Bring the right hand across to reach for the left ear. If you can't quite reach the ear, it's okay to place the hand on top of the head, wherever it feels most comfortable. Holding the ear for a couple of breaths. Again, you can lift the elbow to lengthen the ribs, and then return to stillness for a few more breaths. Release the ear, raise the wrist on the right, and look to the right past the arm. One more time. Lengthening the ribs allows you to get movement in the arm all the way up through the wrist, going higher up toward the sky, and then returning to stillness for a few breaths. Return the face to the center, press the right hand high, bring the left hand low, and hold the posture in stillness for a few breaths. Then we'll do the other side. This time the right arm is behind, and the left arm is at the left shoulder. Raising and lowering the left elbow allows you to lengthen the ribs. Turning the head to the right, reaching for the right ear. Raising and lowering the elbow to lengthen the ribs, and then a couple of breaths in stillness. Release the ear, raise the left wrist and look to the left. Again, lengthening from the wrist to feel the movement all the way down into the ribs. Turn the face to the center, press the left hand high and the right hand low for your final position in this sequence. When you're finished, you can return to Wu Chi. For our hip rotations, you want to have your feet in the Wu Chi positions and place your hands behind you on your hips. Start by moving the hips forward and then to the right, toward the back, and then to the left. Forward again. This might seem like it's a simple exercise, but what you want to do is keep the knees soft so there's more movement available throughout the spine, and feel each one of the directions as specific movements that you're smoothing out the connection between them. Moving around in a circle, you can start to feel the movement as it moves all the way up your spine, and then the shoulders begin to move along with it. We call this the echoes of the movements. As you do this circling, you're going to notice that more and more of your body begins to participate. Then reverse the circle, Same thing, just the other direction. Notice any differences that you feel going this direction, because our bodies are not symmetrical, so you're going to notice different sensations when you move the other direction. Again, feeling what's happening in the shoulders, allowing them to follow along so that you can feel the movement throughout the entire body. Return to the center, allow the arms to drop, and you can rest in Wu Chi. For the leaning series, you're going to be working with 3 positions. Tilting the hips backwards allows the shoulders to come forwards and the arms to hang. We want to make sure that the knees are soft and not locked up so that the movement of the hips can be allowed. Bring yourself back to the neutral position so that the hips are underneath the shoulders. And then leaning forward with the hips, we'll tilt the shoulders and the arms to the back, keeping the head in the neutral position in the center. Return to neutral in the middle. Tilt the hips back and the shoulders forward, and return to the neutral position. Tilting forward with the hips and shoulders to the back, always ending in Wu Chi, which is the neutral position. Step forward with the left foot into a front stance, bringing the left hand up into a beak and the right hand behind, also in a beak. This posture has numerous different movements that you can do as variations for comfort. You can turn the hips in and out, and then bring them back to the center. Tilting forward and back with the upper body can also help to bring more comfort. Opening and closing the hands for people who have stiffness in the hands, and just a simple turning of the head. Can get the whole body moving more smoothly. Hold the side in stillness for a few breaths. And then step to the other side with the right foot forward. This time the right hand is high, the left hand is behind. And again, you can do a variety of movements to increase your comfort, or you can just stand in stillness for a few breaths. When you're finished, return to Wu Chi. For drawing the bow, you're going to step back into an archer stance. Stepping back with the right foot, the right hand pulls back into a fist, and the front hand pushes forward open. 70% of the weight is on the back and 30% on the front. Exploratory movements here can be turning of the head, which can trickle down the spine and get the hips moving as well. You can sink and raise, or rotate in the hips and upper body. When you're done with those movements, bring yourself back to stillness for a few breaths. Then do the other side. Stepping back with the left foot, the left fist is closed and the front hand is open. Weight is on the back. Again, some exploratory movements can be helpful to make the posture more comfortable before holding it in stillness for a few breaths. When you are finished, return to Wu Chi. To do the dragon, we want to open the stance to a horse stance and then turn one foot to the side. I'm starting with the right. Rotate to the right and let the left foot lengthen. Bring my left hand around to the front, in front of my head. Right hand circles around behind, both palms facing outwards. I could do some exploratory movements here to make this more comfortable. Opening and closing the hips. Turning the head down toward the heel and back. Even pressing the arms a little away from the body. Once you're done with your movements and can hold the position comfortably, you can pause for a few breaths. Unwind yourself, returning to your horse stance, and then do the other side, turning toward the left, lengthening the right heel. Right hand comes in front of the head, left hand circles behind, palms pressing out. Standing wipers. We want to stand in our Wuchi stance with the feet underneath the hips. Bring the arms out to shoulder level height, palms facing together. Keeping your eye on the hand that's moving, you're going to open one hand to the side, leaving the other hand in place. And very gradually, as you watch the hand, move it back as far behind you as is comfortable without straining or pushing, allowing the spine to twist and the hips to move. And then coming forward again, continuing to watch the hand. Keep the front hand as stable as you can. Bring the hand back to position and then alternate doing the other side. Watching as you rotate, feeling the way it moves down through the body, accessing the positioning of the hips and turning them out as well. And then coming forward, allowing the hip to return to place along with the arm. You can move the arms to a different position. They can be higher or lower. And repeat. Opening to the side. One at a time. Make sure you're continuing to breathe as you concentrate on this movement, making it light and easy. Hands can also come above and circle all the way around, back into place. And when you're finished, simply bring the hands down into Wuchi. For slapping the hips, we want to be a little bit wider than our Wuchi stance. The knees are bent, and we're doing our movement from the hips, allowing the arms to be loose like wet spaghetti, rotating the hips, allowing the head and the shoulders to follow, and the hands are actually slapping along the hips. When you're finished, return to Wuchi. Slapping the back, just stand in the Wuchi position and swing the arms around, slapping behind the back as well as you can reach, alternating which hand is on top as you repeat numerous times. In this exercise, we're working with the horse stance with shifting and rotation. We want to step out about double shoulder width, bend the knees, and begin to shift from foot to foot. The knees stay bent to the same degree as you move straight across with the feet parallel. Do this numerous times until you start to feel really comfortable with the movement. And then when you're ready, you can begin to add the rotation. Leave the weight on the bent leg, rotate the hips to that corner. Stay rotated as you shift across, and then rotate the hips to the opposite corner. Again, notice that you're rotating toward the knee that's bent. Shift across and rotate. Shift and rotate. As much as possible, you want to keep the feet parallel and the knees bent. Once this movement is completely comfortable, you can start to add arm movements that follow. We can start with a movement called outside circles. The arm comes up with the back of the hand leading across, and then we alternate, bring the other hand across, and over time you'll get to the place where the hands move in synchronicity. You can also do forward circles where the palm of the hand leads. Come across in front of the face with the palm out, synchronizing the movement of the two arms while you're doing your shifting and rotating. A third movement is moving the hands together, bringing them up in a half circle to about head height, letting them get nice and relaxed so that you can swing them around with the hips from above, making a full circle. And remember, this movement is all being orchestrated by the shifting and rotating of the lower body. And you can circle the other way as well. And when you're finished, return to Wu Chi. When we do our foot circles, we have a number of variations to work on. You want to start with your feet parallel underneath the hips, just like we do in our Wu Chi stance. Begin by softening the knees and placing your attention at the left toe area. Imagine you're going to draw a circle down the side of the left foot to the heel. Bring that circle across from the left heel to the right heel, and then up the right side of the foot to the toes, crossing again to the left side of the toes, and all the way around, circling left heel, right side, toes, left side, toes, heel, right toes, left toes, and so on, continuing to circle a couple more times. Then you're going to reverse your direction, starting at the right toe, coming down the right side of the foot to the right heel, left heel, Up the left side this time to the toes, crossing to the right toes, right heel, left heel, left toes, and so on, continuing in this direction. From this position, we're going to continue with figure eights, which is a sideways infinity sign. Starting at the left toe, go down through the center to the right heel, up to the right toe, down to the left heel, up to the left toe, down to the right heel. And you can start to see how the hips rotate as you move your circle in a figure eight. To reverse this, start at the left heel, come up to the right toe, right heel, across to the left toe, left heel, right toe, right heel, and left toe. Returning to the center and pausing in Wu Chi. We're going to step into an archer stance and do this again with the figure eight. Start with the weight on the front toe. The left toe is forward, so we go left toe down the outside to the left heel. Shift onto the right toe and circle down to the right heel. Straightening the hips to the forward position. Shift the weight all the way forward from the right heel to the left toe. Left toe to left heel. Right toe, right heel. Straightening the hips, come forward to the left toe. Same thing on the other side. Archer stance with the right foot forward. Bring the weight forward to the right toe. Right heel. Cross to the left toe, left heel, straighten the hips, come forward to the right toe. Right heel, left toe, left heel, straighten the hips, and come forward. For Yi Chin Chin, we want to bring our feet together in the center in a comfortable position as close as possible. Begin by bringing the knees into a soft position, the fists pull back to the waist. Hold the position for a couple of breaths, and then release slowly, pressing the palms low in front of the dantian. It's nice to do some movements in these postures. You can open and close the hands, allowing the pelvis to tilt forward and back, and the knees to come up and down a little bit. Keeping the hands open, return to the waist. In this position, a nice movement for comfort is just to let the elbows come forward, rounding the upper back, and then bring them back so the shoulders come back behind you more readily. You can do this a couple of times, and then return to your stillness. Pressing the hands high and looking up between the hands for gazing at the moon. This one we want to be careful about making sure that the knees don't straighten out. So you might check in with your knees. If you're feeling any tension in the shoulders, it's really nice to just push lightly forward with one hand and then the other, and feel the lengthening of the ribs come into play. Bring it back to the center for stillness for a couple of breaths. Bring the arms down, pointing the fingertips to the thighs, elbows are bent for pressing the palms low. In this one, I like to bend the head forward and bring the chin up, just allowing the movement of the spine to release any unnecessary tension. Hold for a couple of breaths, and then bring the fingertips underneath the chin. This can be a hard one for a lot of people, to get the elbows into the center. So you want to bend forward, keeping the knees bent, letting the arms drop, bring the elbows together, and then roll back up into position. And that will help to release the upper back and make the arms comfortable. Coming forward with the hands in beaks or hooks. And again, if you're having trouble getting the elbows together, there's variations like opening either both sides together, or you can do one side at a time and get some movement happening in the upper body until you're able to hold for a few breaths in stillness. Turning the arms around forms fists. And the same thing here. If you're uncomfortable, you can do some gentle movements. Pushing an elbow forward and pulling it back can be a nice movement as well. Keeping the arms in place, rotate to the left. And then the final position, we're rotating back to the right. Hold for a couple of breaths. Return to the center. Let the arms drop. And return to Wu Chi to rest. For pure Yin and pure Yang, we're doing a sequence of movements that helps to circulate the Qi throughout both the Yin and Yang meridians. Beginning in Wu Chi, exhale and sink, and allow the arms to raise just like you do at the beginning of your set. Palms down and sink. Inhale, open the arms wide, bring them to head height, palms down and sink, and exhale. Backs of the hands together, raising from the wrists, opening the palms to the chest, push forward and sink. Raise and hold the ball in front, exhale and sink the ball down. Pull the palms up in front, push the fingertips forward, and sink. Backs of the hands together as you rise, and open the hands, coming all the way around in a swimming motion, palms together, sink the body, and push the fingertips forward. Separate the hands to shoulder width, sink, exhale, flatten the palms as you raise, and then exhale and sink to finish. Let's do that a couple more times together. Exhale and sink, palms raise, exhale and sink. Open wide as you inhale, circling around, sinking and exhaling. Backs of the hands together and lifting from the wrists. Open in front of the chest and push as you sink. Hold the ball in front, sink and exhale. Pull the palms up in front, push the fingertips forward. Open the hands in a swimming motion, bringing them all the way around in front, palms together. Open to shoulder width, sink, palms flat, and close. For opening and closing, we want to start in our Wu Chi position. You might find it's a little more comfortable to do this exercise in a slightly wider placement of the feet, so you'll need to adjust that for yourself as we go through the sequence. Start by sinking the hands down in the middle, bringing the arms together in the backs of the hands. Allow the head to nod just a little bit forward, and then coming upright, bringing the hips forward a little bit, and open the arms a little. You don't want to make this a really big movement at the beginning because we want to have room to expand. So just sink a little bit and open up a little bit so that as you get more and more comfortable, more tension releases in the back, you're able to open the arms wider, push the hips forward more, and let the head begin to tilt backwards. Again, I can't emphasize enough on this that we want to do this very gradually so that you're strengthening the back as you do it instead of weakening and creating injury. There's a lot of movement in this one. We don't want to hold it as a posture, so allow yourself to bend and expand until you've had enough, and then return to Wu Chi. In serving pizza, we want to step into a nice horse stance. Bring the arms back to the waist, palms up, and then we do our sequence. Turn the hip to the right and let the right arm sweep around in front as the hips come around. Raise the hand overhead with the palm flat, still turning the hips. And then bring the hips back to the center as the hand returns to the waist. Left side. Turn the left hip forward and swing out the left arm. Bend the elbow, bringing the hand flat and coming overhead. Turning the hip back, brings the arm around behind, straighten the hips, and return to the middle. Again, right side comes out to the front. Bend the arm, flatten the palm, and remember that all of these arm movements are actually following the rotations of the hip. We're going to do the left side again, swinging out and around. Palm goes overhead, and then circles around to the front. This time we're going to do it from behind. So bring the fingertips behind you, reversing the circling of the arm as the hips turn, and we end sweeping across the front and returning to the waist. Left side, fingers behind, palm up, bend the elbow and going over the head, sweeping across the front, and return to the waist. Now notice when I do this, there are points where the hips begin to move forward a little bit so that you can keep the palm as flat as possible. Coming behind with the fingers, reaching around, the hips are going to come forward a little bit, and then sweep across and return to the waist. Left side, fingertips lead, coming around, crossing in front, and returning to the waist. Return to Wu Chi and rest. Step right, double ward off. Rotate right, roll back high. Shift back, roll back low. Circle the left arm and forward to press. Shift back, low push. shift forward, high push. Rotate right, roll back high, shift back, roll back low. Circle the left arm and forward to press. Shift back, low push. Shift forward, high push. Shift back, rotate right, roll back high. Shift back, roll back low. Circle the left arm and forward to press. Shift back, low push. Shift forward, high push. For balancing, we want to learn how to be able to stand comfortably on one foot. Begin by just moving the weight from side to side very slowly until you can feel the way the hip and shoulder are aligned over the knee and the foot, releasing the weight from the other side. Gradually, one foot will get lighter and you'll be able to start lifting it off the ground. Try it on each side so that you can really feel the stability. Once you're feeling really stable, you can lift the knee a little higher and place the hand on the knee. Return to Wu Chi in between. Get your balance, move to the other side, and lift the knee. The secret to balancing is that you want to have your standing knee bent. That way it's going to support you. The arms are relaxed. And they're not helping with this. Our other balancing position is raising the foot behind. When we raise the foot behind, we're arching the lower back, looking to the side and reaching for the foot. It might be hard to reach the foot at the beginning, so just look for it, reach the arm, and see if you can touch it. Over time, you'll be able to reach back easily and hold the foot or the ankle with the hand. Our third balancing position, you want to tilt the foot to the corner so you have more space to stand on. Bend the knee and bring the other foot out in front. The foot is flexed. If this is hard to lift, then you can actually have the heel on the ground. If not, go ahead and lift it to a position that feels comfortable. Return to Wu Chi and do the other side, turning the foot first, bringing the heel forward, and lift to a comfortable position. Return to Wu Chi and rest. Patting the meridians is a wonderful way just to get the chi flowing through the entire body. Start by placing the arm out and just patting up and down, inside and outside the arm. Switch to the other side. Make sure you're getting both sides, doing the chest, the belly, the back, and the legs. Inside, outside, and around the back. We can end by just gently tapping on the head with the fingertips. We're not having the hand flat here. Just gently tapping all the way around the ears and the top, and we finish there. A wonderful way to finish your Qigong exercises is just simply to shake it all out. We want to start with Wu Qi and place the hands on the back. Bring the weight over to one foot, shake out the other leg all the way up to the hip. As you can see, this also becomes a balancing exercise. Do the other side. Return to Wu Qi, let the arms dangle. Shake them nice and strong, all the way up to the shoulders. And then, letting everything drop, bounce the whole body from the feet up. Nice, strong jiggle. That's a great place to stop, and you'll feel great when you're done.